peacock on that one, yeah.
They got the hair advantage.
I am.
What?
Feathers.
They got feathers?
They do like a
Mickey
minotaur
Mouse
thing.
can drive vehicles.
Anyways.
That's fair.
All right. Welcome to Previously On, a damage control pod. I didn't write an intro. I was trying to do a Daniel.
That's obvious.
Yeah. Can you do the intro? I was trying to do you, and now I'm all nervous.
Well, if I was prepared for it.
Oh.
All right. Welcome to Previously On, a damage control podcasting production. Adam is our studio head for today.
No. San Quentin. Quentin.
Quoting Adam, quote, Quentin.
Thank you.
Tyler. Jesus. Sorry, I was looking at Tyler when I said that.
Yeah,
is the studio head for today's episode.
My production company is called Jailhouse Rock.
Yeah. So Previously On is a game show where our studio head, Adam,
there you go,
is supposed to be doing the introduction and also revealing the rules to you. We will be writing a movie based off one of his prompts, and then we'll be scoring points based off of that, and then Adam will decide whose has the best movie, and then they will then make the writing prompt for the next movie and go from there.
Danny, I'll take it from here.
Okay. So Previously On. I
won. We did spin-offs.
Yes.
Which was supposed to be TV. I did a brilliant spin-off.
I'd like to say I hate you because I listen to music at my desk at work.
Yeah.
And what song has literally played every single day since that fucking Dream Police?
Really?
I shit you not. At least once, either I'm sitting at my desk or I'm like writing on the board behind my desk, and I just hear Dream Police. And I'm like, fucking dude.
So since I won, I called my friend San Quentin.
I do want to take note that Adam only won because Cody's spin-off movie ended up not being a spin-off of Sinstodian, which was the first episode.
But who wrote Sinstodian? This guy.
Yeah.
And I didn't win because me and Daniel had a prior agreement that we were going to stop lobbing it back and forth.
It had been going on for quite some time.
We didn't want you to get a face and neck lift.
And...
What the fuck?
That was much better than the joke I was going to go with.
I thought you was just making a plastic surgery kit.
We need to start filming this shit. Anyways.
Probably should film that part.
Yeah,
anyway, so I called my friend San Quentin of Jailhouse Rock's Pictures. So they
never heard of this studio.
They're underground, under rocks. So they're a hipster. I know it's surprising coming from me, but they're a hipster. They're a hipster movie studio, film company there, and they're tired of superheroes. They're tired of Barbies blowing up the world with atom bombs, right? So we're gonna do what everyone can relate with: blue collar horror. You take Jeff Foxworthy. You take Ron. Who's retiring? Do you know Ron White's retiring?
I thought he was dead.
Yeah, no.
Well, with his drinking, he's probably pretty close to it.
Anyways.
No, Ron White.
Ron White.
Yeah, he drinks like a fish. Drinks and smokes. Like
he smokes like a fish.
He also does cocaine. It's
I don't drink water. Fish have sex in it.
It's a common misconception about fishes drinking. Did you know that?
Did you know that there was a fish that saved Pittsburgh?
Yeah. No, it's a common misconception about fishes drinking. You can tune a fish, but you can't tune a peanut. I did that backwards.
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, blue collar horror.
Horror.
We want to do a blue collar horror. We want to find. I want to find horror in every day. You think horror films. You think cops, serial killers. You think dudes out in the woods. I want the horror.
Why's it got to be dudes?
I've never a chick. There's been chick serial killers, but I've never known one in the woods. It's usually dudes in the woods.
Oh, so
Blair Witch. Blair Witch is a lady, maybe. We haven't seen her.
I'm gonna say there's a spoiler, but one of the killers in a very recent franchise was a woman.
In the woods?
Not in the woods.
See, that's why I said dude in the woods. See? What? Scream 6?
Well, I wasn't going to give it away because who's the killer is a pretty big plot point of that.
No, is it?
That's the whole point. Yeah, it's the whole point of all the Scream movies is who's the killer.
Yeah, because it changes each time, right?
Yeah.
No. It's always Ghostface.
I'm gonna.
Blue collar horror.
I know you were trying to say I'm gonna fucking kill you, but that is not what came across the audio.
Because I was going to say it, but I didn't want to be crass, so I decided not to say it.
Yeah, so what came across was, I'm gonna fuck you. Yeah, just like your comment about your strength that one time.
You make one ill-advised joke, and everybody's on your case.
Oh.
Okay, who would like to go first?
No
I
chance.
went first last time.
Okay, so Cody, you can go first this time since you're so used to it.
Are you serious?
Okay, Tyler, you go first.
Okay.
All right,
So-
here we go. Blue Jailhouse Rock Productions present Blue Collar Horror. Pitch.
Do we have to put a rhyme in it?
It would help.
I can't think of
Cody,
a rhyme.
you're gonna win anyway.
I
So
can't think of a rhyme. So
What?
the movie opens up with the grainy
Wait, we're recording.
VHS dialogue of like those old, really crappy budget orientation videos where like the acting's all over the top.
I'm thinking of Dharma Initiative type
Yeah.
stuff. Okay. Good.
So
Good,
it's
good.
you know
He scores a point with me.
a warehouse. You know, you've got your safety videos and like it's got the really bad 80s graphics where like the words come like bouncing down the screen.
Dun,
And it's like
dun, dun.
yeah, it's like welcome to the company, and then you know you've got the opening credits, and then so that's just kind of like getting you like it's showing you around where the film is going to take place in this warehouse, and it also towards the end it's doing that good employee bad employee where it's like don't act like this guy, be like this guy, and then it freezes on the last person, and that's your main character, and it's like be a good employee like Walter, and then it's gonna slowly
Can we have a
transition.
thing like at this final scene? Remember, be safe, and then he does like a roll, like a swinging thumbs up, and then it stops, and it just glitches a little bit.
Quit stealing my movie, Cody. So that it freezes on the main character's face.
Okay.
It's, you know, be an employee like Wally or Walter, and then it transitions from that grainy to present day, and you know your character's clearly aged, and now he's in his mid to late 40s, and
anyone who's close to that age should fucking die.
yeah, pretty much facing neck lift.
That's me. I'm close to that age. I was making fun of myself.
Yeah, I get that, but a lot of you guys are.
Yeah, Daniel.
Your main character's name
I don't know,
is
for my age, I don't want to hear it.
is Walter, played by Zach Galifianakis.
Ooh.
And
No, wait, he's like 50 something though.
He can act younger than
Wait,
he
are we
is.
talking?
And the 16-year-olds in movies aren't 16.
Well, that loses my sexual fantasy. Now, is this bearded Zach Galifianakis?
Yes,
Long hair or buzz cut Zach Galifianakis? This is important.
it's long hair.
Ooh, okay. Like out
What?
cold?
What,
Yes.
Did he used to have short hair when he was in the training video?
He's wearing a hard hat
Yeah,
in
but
the training video.
But
you can
no
see.
beard?
Yeah, no beard.
Mustache, though.
No, clean shaven.
Oh,
okay.
And so that shows you the transition. So
gotcha.
it's-
I like his.
so he's a warehouse technician, loads and unloads trailers, sets all that stuff up. He works in this warehouse, and he's the oldest person, or the oldest, not age wise, but he's been there the longest.
Right, most
So he-
seniority.
So he works with all these young kids, or people in their 20s that don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just there for a paycheck. And he kind of like hangs out by himself. They catch him like talking to himself, so they call him Weird Wally. And so then the movie progresses like a normal day. It does another little what's it called? Rocky IV, the montage. There it is. So it does like a montage of going throughout the day.
Why Rocky IV? He does a montage in every one.
I know, but Rocky IV is what I went to.
Okay.
So it's him doing the montage. They've got like the classic, slide the card in, and then go about his day, slide the card out, yada. So then you're kind of just watching it, and you're like, okay, it's a normal everyday thing. What's it gonna be? So it's him sitting at his desk, and all the new guys are up there, give him a hard time. Trailer backs up. When a trailer backs up to a loading dock, it slams into the.
That was a cool effect.
It slams into the wall, and you hear that. And so
that's the title of a movie about a cult of snakes.
It's related to the one about the flat tire.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh, you better get to work, and then all of a sudden you just hear so at this loading dock you've got an overhead door.
Right.
So
naturally.
So you just hear something like beating against this door, and inside the overhead door there's a small window that you can see out, and you just hear like this banging on the door. So eventually someone's making a joke, and they walk up to the door, and something just slams against the door. So there's something clearly inside there.
Clearly.
So they all start freaking out. Well, then it becomes your typical horror film where all the doors are locked, and then lights start going on and off. Lights eventually go down, and you get those red safety lights. Well, it's such an old plant and underutilized. Half of them don't work, and these guys, they're relatively new, so they look towards the guy that they've just been making fun of the whole time how to get out. And so it becomes like a zombie.
Like I'm fine with this as long as did nobody follow the fire escape? Know where the fire escape routes are?
Yeah, I mean he's going. He's like, and this long, I've known how to do this, and you guys don't listen. And now he's getting kind of arrogant, but it's still not an element of comedy, but he's you should have done this type of thing.
So this is more of a serious Zach Galifianakis, like Baskets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or him in Below.
Oh yeah.
That's where Weird Wally came from.
Right. Well, yeah.
So it becomes eventually the creature. They're not zombies. They're some kind of creatures. Bust through the glass. And you just see them like crawling through this glass, falling down the door into it. So they all have to follow this guy that they've just been ridiculing, and he's leading them into a spot that's safe. And then someone is all, no, we can't do this. Why are we fucking listening to him? And that's your so and so that runs out, runs to the middle of the plant. And he's like, it's safe, we're fine. And then like the creature like jumps at him and like tears him in half, through the red light. So it's like this.
Wait, through the red light?
The safety lights.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
So
he's fine 1 second, light flashes off, light flashes there, something there,
yeah, it literally just flies across the screen, snaps him in half. His legs are still standing there, and then after his body's off the screen, his legs just fall down.
Okay.
So it's this run and hide type storyline. So eventually it all whittles down, and it's Wally gets to the only escape, the only exit that they haven't tried, and it's for some reason, I don't know why I picked this, it's the electrical room that has a back entrance from the old plant that it used to be. So it's him in this room, and he's by himself, and he flips an old style giant breaker switch, and then
how old is this factory?
It's patchwork. It's patchwork from all the different things that have been there.
Right.
So he flips this switch.
Do you have
up.
one of those at your place?
Yeah.
Fuck off, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So he flips this switch up, and the lights come on in this room.
And it's the Batcave.
And no.
Oh.
Close. No. All those creatures are just surrounding him. So the one place that he thought he was safe, and his hand's right on the exit door, and then the screen cuts to black. And then you hear the sound of the overhead door going back up, and then you hear the sound the creatures make, them running, is like this scuttling type noise, and then you hear the overhead door closing again, the sounds of the trailer leaving, the screen still black, everything silent, and then you hear lights in effect, as the sections of lights come on, and it's the music to the welcome video start playing, and it cuts to a room where it's all these people, sitting for orientation, and it's the same factory and everything. And, it's people just sitting there in various states. One person's paying attention, one person's on their phone, one guy's asleep. And then, the movie ends, or the welcome video ends, and the door opens, and then in wearing a suit, ready to introduce everyone to the factory is Wally.
So what?
So it's like a cabin in the woods type thing. It's him masterminding this, feeding these creatures to keep them at bay. But so you thought he was the dumb accomplice, or the idiot the whole movie, and he's really the mastermind of everything.
But if the people are watching, they're not watching what we just watched, right?
No.
Okay, I misunderstood.
No,
okay,
it's the welcome to such and such.
Right, I thought they were watching.
So the entire plot of the movie is him like, oh, everywhere else is locked, but I know a safe way, and it's him keeping them in the factory long enough for the creatures to feed.
It's like him leading them. He's like, all right, I know that if we take them to point A, this, I mean, he doesn't know for a fact, but it's like, this will probably happen here. Eventually, he knows that they will all be picked off. Okay. So he's the mastermind of the entire
an
time.
Unwritten agreement that he has with these creatures so they can hunt in an atmosphere that nothing can get away from him.
Well, let's not explain it. Let's just...
Well, that's the thing. It's just hinting at the fact that he's not this dumb guy that just he's clearly the mastermind.
Yeah, it could be anything from these are the ancient creatures and this is the only way to keep them from overrunning the world as he sacrifices all these people, or
he's just a psychopath that found these creatures.
Yeah, he's like a Frankenstein type person that creates these people and he controls them. I like, for one, you get points for me because I love bottle episode type movies. Two, I like weird creature type shit.
Are we actually going to show these creatures at all, or are they going to be Zack Snyder darkness all the way?
Oh, can they be more like bugs, like in Mimic?
Yeah.
You've never seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen Mimic?
Yeah, that's the one with the cockroach.
Yeah.
People, right?
What do you think? Well, no, they're cockroaches. They're not.
Yeah.
They're genetically altered, obviously.
Right.
I do want the scene where the guy literally gets ripped in half though in his legs.
I was picturing Dave Franco as that guy.
I could see that.
And I want what's his face from New Girl in it somewhere.
Jake Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if we set up Jake Johnson as the hero? Like he's the guy that's like he's gonna fucking win. He's the one that's gonna survive, and he gets wiped out. Like the very first one to get wiped out.
Okay. That's fine.
Uh-huh.
I ain't arguing. No, I was just thinking about that at work.
And I was also picturing while you were talking, marketing wise, put out via a limited run VHS with like the labeling is all about the orientation video, like cheesy graphics, and it's.
That'd be pretty cool. I like the
sarcasm hurt me.
No, I think that would be cool. I like the elements of analog horror.
Analog.
Yeah, like that's a budding and popular genre right now that I'm kind of starting to get into.
Well, analog horror. What do you mean?
So analog horror is like a type of horror that's based in early '90s. Usually, it's got the grainy VHS kind of.
I see.
Trying to think of some of the ones to go and watch. It's a much more popular as like a web series because it's more of a internet thing that's coming out than an actual cinema thing.
The Empty Spaces type. No, the Backroom.
Yeah, kind of like Backroom, but Backroom's not really analog. But yeah, kind of like Backroom.
I'm sorry, you just keep saying Backroom and analog, and that's all I can think of. Like News Station. Was it 23? Station 23, Station 22, something like that. The alternate one, which is the Mandela Catalog, is the name of that one. They're all these grainy and like they usually have some sort of esoteric storytelling devices where they'll swap like from hand cam footage into AIM chat logs to different things like that.
What are AIM chat logs?
AIM.
What are those?
Those AOL's instant messaging from the early 90s.
Like ICQ.
Yeah, like ICQ.
Okay, gotcha.
What did ICQ stand for?
Instant chat Quora. No, what did ICQ stand for?
It was internet chat something.
Q.
Yeah, I don't know what the Q was for ICQ.
Title-wise, what were we thinking?
Well, was it just Q, like queuing?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it could. Certainly could be.
Honestly, I didn't think of a title.
The only thing I don't want is I like it. I like John Carpenter. I like John. Oh, sorry.
How about safety first?
Ooh.
Safety not guaranteed.
No.
Jake
No,
Johnson's in that.
That's already a movie.
Oh.
What's the ADM thing? It's
Oh.
safe or not at all? Safe or not at all?
Lockout, tag out.
Lockout.
You could do lock in, tag out.
Seeing as how we're not remotely on the rails at all, the name ICQ derives from the English phrase "I seek you."
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
I was trying to look that up.
The only thing I don't want to do in this movie, and I think it would fit in this movie, I just don't like it because it's overused, is I don't want a John Carpenter synth soundtrack. I love John Carpenter style synth soundtracks. It's that ever since Stranger Things has boomed, every fucking movie now has a John Carpenter.
What if you don't do
synth.
any soundtrack? What if it's just the sounds,
The creepy ass sounds.
No,
like,
it's a factory right. So why don't we have a stomp soundtrack?
Get out.
Okay.
Get out. Dolores, she's now security.
Oh, okay.
She's on the roids. No, like what if you don't do any? You've been in a plant when it's shut down.
Never been in here.
Shut up. You've got like the giant industrial fans as they're cranking around and everything like that.
Yeah. I think you could do no music. I think you've got to have some background sounds, though. But
Well, yeah, you'd have background sounds,
Yeah.
but like the only music you have is like, you don't want to do that. You would have the '80s horrible orientation video music.
Yeah. And you got to almost play that like by ear, like in the first little bit, maybe have like an '80s rock soundtrack, just like one song, and then someone accidentally breaks the radio, and it can introduce like Wally into the world, and he's like, well, if you had been following protocol, that wouldn't have happened, and we would still have music. And then there's no music for the rest of the... and you just play with the sounds of the machines as you would normal music, and do like the aleatoric build for like generators and engines and stuff.
Because then that would, since your creatures, make the sound, you could have that, not in the foreground, but like silently where people are talking and you can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, it slowly gets builds and builds until I really like that idea. I like that sound vacuum
Like,
idea.
it's giving me flashbacks to my jobs, because some of the most terrifying nights I had when I worked in factory is when I worked third shift at this one place, and it was like 3 of us there. I always wondered, like, if I was in one of the back storage rooms and something happened to me, it'd be hours before somebody knew I was gone. Like, and I like that atmosphere. That gives me terror.
Another thing that's really creepy at night when you're by yourself working in a factory is when like something goes wrong and the plant shuts down. So you got like that drone of all the in ADM a place that I work at that shall not be named. If something goes wrong for a safety feature, it shuts all the machines down. There is nothing creepier than when you're in a giant factory and you're operating and you're just so the drone of the machines just shuts off.
Yeah, like, if one machine is off kilter, you sense it immediately just by the sound. And then you're like, what's that?
I know every time we do this episode, whoever's in charge always does this joke. But Tyler, you're in the lead, I think, so far.
Mm-hmm. But it's a requirement every episode.
I think everyone has made that joke. Okay.
He went first last time. I'll go next.
That's who I'll
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Okay. So the original idea was horror movies is based off where we work.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So my quote unquote blue collar is more related to my work than it is actual blue collar.
Okay.
So for those of you who may not know, I work at a mental health facility where we focus on mental illness and substance abuse. So our movie is going to open up with, we're going to follow around, and I've decided I want to cast Jennifer Lawrence as our main.
Do you know she was completely naked in her newest movie? She gets kicked in the muff.
What was the name of that movie?
Like Daniel's
no
doing a
hard
joke
feeling-
here, but
no
he
hard
actually
feelings.
grabbed a pen up to write that down. I want the audience to know that.
No hard feelings.
Yeah, well, did it not come across on the audio?
No,
I
I didn't
to-
hear that.
Oh, okay.
She's
I wanted that.
Yeah.
She's completely naked, and in interviews, she was asked, "Did you use a body double, or is that?" She said, "No, I am good looking right now. I might as well do it."
Everybody's already seen her naked.
Yeah. Anyway, Jennifer Lawrence. So we're gonna follow her getting ready for work, and she's gonna get.
How well are we following
Yeah.
her?
We're gonna be polite about it.
Oh.
We're gonna be polite about it.
Daniel, I hate to tell you this, you're not winning.
Can we release an unrated version?
Oh, sure.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
we're
cool.
good.
Anyway,
The
so
Weinstein cut.
Jesus Christ.
yeah, so she puts on slacks, nice shirt, drives to work, and we're gonna find out that she is a substance abuse counselor. So she goes,
Hey, that's kind of like what you do.
that is very similar to what I do. So she goes to work. She says hi to the other employees. She says, chit chats with the secretary a little bit. We get a good scene of her at the water cooler, and then we're gonna go into like a group setting, and we're gonna kind of speed through that and cut into this guy who I want it to be like a young Steve Buscemi looking kind of guy. That kind of sunken in features, that kind of
Like, shit, he's everywhere. He was in A Dark Knight. Polka Dot Man.
yeah, he would have
Yeah.
been fine. The actor who played Vecna in the Stranger Things would work.
Okay.
Rowan Atkinson.
I think he's dead.
Even better, he's got that sunken in look.
So we're gonna find someone like him.
You gotta make all these jokes, and then when he does finally pass, it'll be like
We will have a dedicated episode to say goodbye to him and all of his jokes, so then we can't make that joke anymore.
Okay.
We still will. I won't make
No,
sense.
we
It won't-
can't make that joke anymore.
Okay.
Okay. So it's gonna cut to him, and he's gonna be, kind of talking in more of a stereotypical AA chair circles kind of fashion, because people don't understand what actual group looks like.
Right.
He's gonna, sitting there talking about like, I keep trying and I keep relapsing. I just feel like there's something in me that keeps, forcing me to do these bad things, and I just can't feel like my demons are winning. And we're gonna have Jennifer Lawrence stop him and be like, no, not demons. They're mental illness. This is your choices. You are struggling to get through things, but you have autonomy. You have control. They are not demons. And be very, very clear about that part of the
I hear
conversation.
the word autonomy a lot. What does that mean?
You have choice.
Okay.
It means that your actions matter, and that you
That
have.
wasn't a joke. I literally did not know.
Yeah, it means that you have a valid choice
Gotcha,
in
okay.
life.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna kind of group wraps up, and Jennifer Lawrence is gonna be kind of prowling around talking to someone. And we're gonna go to our Steve Buscemi-esque character, and she's gonna talk to him, and we're gonna show that they've got a really good rapport. Like, they know each other really well. They're very, very close, and Steve character is gonna come out and say, if it wasn't for your influence, I don't know where I'd be. I really only come here so I can have you in my life. And Jennifer Lawrence is gonna, make sure he's not doing anything inappropriate. No, you can't do anything like that. And then we're gonna have gunshots start shooting out throughout the building.
Okay.
So at that point, Jennifer Lawrence, goes, shuts the doors, locks the door, everyone barricades out, and more gunshots, screaming, yelling, and we're gonna have the lights come off. And we're going to do 20 minutes or so of this kind of in the room horror, kind of like fog or stuff like that, where we're like, oh my God, we don't know what we're going to do. We can't leave. We don't know where they're going to be. We're just going to hang out until the police come. Oh, our cell phones aren't working. What's going on? So that's not realistic. But, you pick up the phone and the phone is dead, and everyone's put their phones in a lockbox or something.
Right,
that's pretty appropriate for a lot of groups.
Right. Okay.
And they don't have access to it, and we're maybe we have a couple guys trying to sneak out and they get shot. And very early in the movie, we're going to have this kind of rising act into what is going to feel like we're wrapping the movie up with. Dude is pounding on the door, and it breaks through, and this guy with a gun, and Jennifer Lawrence is there, and she's going to try talking him down. She recognizes the guy, like, hey, you don't have to do this, blah, 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 blah. And just as we think that Jennifer Lawrence has diffused everything, dude, boom, boom, guns her down. And our
double taps her too.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, fuck her.
One each hit.
Right. So then we have like Steve Buscemi's character is like, no, and then he goes rushing to her, and then like dude's got to stop to reload. So dude's reloading, everyone's panicking, they're screaming.
Is this turning into like an Etrigan type thing?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought he was
Yes.
I thought he was going to do it. I thought he was going to do a time loop.
Tyler, I hate to tell you, if this is an Etrigan type thing,
Nah, dude stands up, turns, and then like skin starts peeling away, demon out underneath, like claws, bone shards, just boom, just explodes, and this guy like lunges at and rips the gunman apart. And then the other characters who we spent a good, the last 20 minutes getting really close to some of them and the horror in a box kind of situation. Start scattering throughout the facility, and now this demon monster has been set loose and goes hunting, and all the minor characters that we've been introduced and kind of kept tabs on in the movie are now we're going to turn kind of slasher, where this guy's cutting them down and ripping through them and all of these things, and eventually we're going to get the problem solved by a small band of the workers and maybe people who are close to the Steve Buscemi character, like talking him down, and like he's gonna get him in a corner, and he's gonna rip him apart, and they're like, hey man, shit happens, and we're gonna, it's a different place and a different time where this is gonna be better now, you don't have to be doing this, and he's gonna eventually talk him down and get him to untransform, we're gonna kind of pull away with them all exiting, police rushing in and going, what the fuck happened here? And then, they're talking to him about how to keep control of their demons. And as we see the ambulance take people out and the policemen start doing their thing, we're going to have an old kind of beat up station wagon pull it, and then a couple priests step out. And they come approach him, and then we're gonna do that drone pull away and into credits.
I want Jennifer Lawrence. So I like the From Dusk Till Dawn old switcheroo.
Yeah,
I like that, where you think it's like a realistic horror, like a active shooter horror, and then you go to the titty twister and the vampires show up.
Right.
I like that. That's awesome. But so because of that, we want to sell it as an active shooter type real horror. So Jennifer Lawrence can't be sexy. She has to be like the way normal, like.
That's like asking me not to be sexy. What,
Yeah,
what do you want us to do about stuff like that?
Just do what you've been doing. So, like what I mean. She's got
There you go.
She's got her hair pulled back. She doesn't have perfect Hollywood hair.
Oh no, we're gonna make her
sexy makeup. I
make
mean,
her real.
she's obviously still going to be gorgeous because she's just a good-looking woman. But no.
Wow, you hear that, Dana?
No. Well, Dana's way better looking
Kiss ass.
than Steve Buscemi.
He
You know
was
what I
a
mean?
firefighter, motherfucker. You'd be nice to Steve Buscemi.
And then we should also what do you think about when it turns when it does the titty twister turn? That's when we don't necessarily shoot the movie differently, but that's when in Jared.
I better win.
Sorry.
I better win for that.
That's when Tyler's movie, when the red alarms come on, using the area, it becomes more not theatrical, but maybe the camera isn't filmed like a documentary active shooter type movie. It's more you use more subjective type angles.
Yeah, so I'm thinking the first half of the movie is shot really still static cameras.
Yeah, always on sticks.
Yeah, not a lot of movement in them. I wanted to almost feel like surveillance footage, but I don't want to do found footage surveillance footage style. But I want to have that kind of atmosphere to it. And then once the movie switches, I almost want
handheld.
Kind of. I want there almost be a audible or visual knocking the camera off the stick, where like the monster does its thing, and then like the camera tilts and falls, and then like we see the monster, and then the cameraman picks up the camera and then starts following the monster around. And we get some more shaky footage. We get some more like dark angles. I want to play with shadow. I want to play with a red light that comes on at some point.
Someone, I know this isn't realistic, but someone shoots a fire extinguisher, and then that's where you get like the fog.
Yeah.
And it becomes the very theatrical.
Yeah, you could have them knock over like the coffee maker, and it sets fire to like a paper on the wall or something.
Yeah, and
like
the
that.
lights, the fluorescent lights that have been shot, so that's where you get the standard. And I want the transform. I don't know how that is. I want that fucking ADM. I ain't going in. That's
or whatever place that you.
Yeah, you may or may not work for you.
Like I want the transformation to be painful. Like he like not.
Well, yeah, he said his skin was ripping off.
Yeah, where like he rips his skin, like he rips his own skin off.
It's not like he was like, oh, hold on, let me fold this piece of my face up and come back for it later.
That actually might be creepier, like where he knows the demon's coming, so he like takes his glasses off and he puts them on. He takes his coat off. That defeats the whole rage.
Yeah, I
like
like that idea, but maybe for like a future installment or something like that. Right now, I want it to be that primalness, and that's what actually makes the demon come out of him, is that primal rage. Like, there's this one person who's been good to me my entire life, and now this person ripped them away from me. I want that primal energy to come out in that particular scene.
Well, title-wise, what are we thinking?
I think I want to go with a mental health term, and I want to call it the playground theory.
You have to explain it.
Okay, so playground theory is a theory in mental substance use, and it comes from if you have a kid playing in the playground, and you take that kid from that playground and put them in a new playground, they will make new friends, they will play in new ways and new places. When you take that kid away from the new playground and put them in the old place, they now play with their old friends in the same old ways in the same place. So that theory is, if you are removed from the place where you are using and the people you're using with and put into a healthy place, you stop. And then if we pick you back up and put you back to where you were, you will start again. So the playground theory is, once you are plucked from that place and put into a new place, you have to keep going with the new people, the new places, and the new things, because if you go back to what you were doing, you're going to go back to what you were doing. So that's the playground theory, is changing people, places, and things, and continuing with that effort.
Okay.
Because this person his people are changing because Jennifer Lawrence is dying. His things are changing because now he is, coming to truth with the fact that there is a real demon here. And obviously the place is going to change because of all of the violence that happens inside the facility. So I want to go with playground theory.
Okay.
My bad.
All right. Are we going with David Marcus?
I can't pronounce his name.
I don't know who that is, but
that's
is
the
that
dude
the
Polka Dot Man?
Polka Dot Man.
Oh yes, I'm absolutely fine with him being
Okay.
the Steve Buscemi-like character.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
There you go.
Uh-oh, he's on his phone.
Okay. All right. We enter a scene where a camera is focused on a clock, and it starts ringing. As it starts ringing, it starts moving off the table.
So like an alarm clock.
Like an alarm clock.
Old school alarm clock? But
yeah, like the bells, like...
Okay.
And then it falls off the table, but as it falls, you see that it's attached to a string. And the string falls, you see that it's attached to a pin that it pulls out, causes the ball to start rolling down. And you have this scene of this, what's that?
Rube Goldberg machine?
Rube Goldberg machine of this thing that starts happening. One cause effect, one thing leads to another. And it finally gets to this big, wicked contraption at the end that you see that this guy is strapped to. That it's like, and you see the final thing is a spinning blade that has now been triggered going towards him. But before it gets to him, there's a mechanical failure. And the blade shoots him to the wall, and the guy's spared.
Okay.
And then this masked figure is just like, fuck, god damn it. Like, that was it. and then he sees where it fails, and he starts an email correspondence.
I knew that's where this was
The
going.
biggest horror of all.
An email correspondence with
Trying to get
a
maintenance to fix
with
something.
a machine shop of getting a part replaced for this specific unit that he has to get specifically milled.
Okay.
And so they're going back and forth over estimates, doing some talk like, oh, so why do you think the part failed? Was it not strong enough? And yada, yada, yada. Like, yeah, I guess we need to go to a higher metal. Like, well, unfortunately, that's going to cost you more. Like, we put this in the original estimate and whatnot.
The
And
biggest
it just
horror of all, bureaucracy.
Yeah, and so it's back and forth, and finally it gets to the numbskull mill operator as he's running the new parts in the lathe. And they do all custom job for all over the world, so they don't do. So it's just he's working on this bolt. He works with a young kid who's getting trained by this Christopher Walken guy, which is Christopher Walken.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, giving him the ins and out and like tell him like, oh yeah, you got to do it this way. You don't want to. You want to chamfer that. So
You're not gonna do the accent?
I can't.
Oh.
Why
Like,
you don't want to do
You
that
gotta
one?
push
You
the button.
You got to push the button this way, and you got to make certain to
Just
stop
the
before then.
worst Christopher Walken
That's-
accents.
Yeah,
That
that's
is-
why I didn't want to do
That
it.
is, that is more William Shatner than it is Christopher Walken.
And then it goes.
You've got to push the button.
And then it goes to this back and forth. It goes through the week of like, man, we got a lot of weird jobs coming in lately, and he eventually gets a stack of blueprints because he's bigger than normal, and he sort of assembles the thing in his head by using all the blueprints that he's gotten. He's like, am I making a murder machine? And he's like, no, I'm not being. And his boss, who I want to be like Craig Robinson, to be like, man, it isn't your job to think; it's your job to make.
God, that was racist.
You won't do Christopher Walken, but you'll do Craig Robinson.
I wasn't doing an accent; I was just saying a voice. It's
That
not
makes
your.
it, you're making it worse, Cody. You're
We
making
ain't
it worse.
found shit.
As I was saying, so it goes back and forth about he keeps like bringing it up to management, like, hey, I think we're making murder devices. And nobody seemed to be caring because he's like, no, we make custom orders for this guy. It doesn't matter what it's being used for. We're getting paid to do a job. And it seems like he's putting it all together, so it goes into this conspiracy-like theory where he's losing his mind. Like, am I responsible for these people that are dying in these elaborate murder machines because I'm the one that made them technically? Or is it him that he pressed the button? And then we go to the actual murderer. He's like, no, I'm not responsible either. I just pressed the first switch. It's that last thing that actually killed the guy. And it's not my fault that I pressed that one button.
So it is bureaucracy.
So it's a horror comedy.
I wanted to be like sort of have a sort of dark comedy aspect with like the moral obligation. Like, are you responsible for if you make something? Are you responsible for what it is used for?
This is kind of like
So
if
it's a
Mike.
horror version of The Office.
This is kind of like if Mike Judge wrote a horror movie. Can we do like a Hot Tub Time Machine reunion where instead of Christopher Walken, we get Crispin Glover?
Oh, Chris, maybe. Like I had several other things. Like I want the younger mill operator, to be Luke Wilson.
The
Okay.
younger mill operator?
Yeah, Luke Wilson.
He's got a youthful look. I mean, he's no Paul.
And then I
Rudd,
want
but
the
he's
killer to be Eugene Levy.
youthful. Okay, that's cool.
Can the name of the factory that builds everything, can it be Holmes Inc.?
That's fine. I don't get the
Holmes,
joke.
Inc. I don't get it.
H.H. Holmes, who built the murder house?
Stupid.
I love that.
No, that was a hotel.
Yeah, and then he's looking over like, wait, we're
H.H.
making
Holmes
multiple
built a
parts
hotel.
for multiple different people.
Murder house, murder hotel.
So he's like, oh
No
crap,
one lived there for
you're
very long.
exclusively making parts for murderers. And their elaborate Saul-inspired murder devices.
This is like a origin for Acme.
And then
I'd like the Roadrunner special, please.
we get to the end where, well, if nobody cares, and like, wait, maybe I can do something myself, and he starts making his own designs. As he's like, if nobody believes me, maybe I can make my own designs, and I'm not accountable anymore, because by that same logic, I can use these designs on these murderers to save the world from them.
Oh, so then you throw in a little bit of Dexter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want it to be called Runtime.
And this is Luke Wilson, the one... Wait, is it Luke Wilson the one that is going to use it on the bad guys?
Yeah.
So I think you need to end that with the dude, like, you know, like, designing his own thing and him looking over like, yeah, this is good. I like this a lot. And like his supervisor comes over and is like, hey, there's overtime Saturday. Do you want to work it? Yeah, you know.
You're like, yep.
Exactly.
And that was my idea. Like, I got to think about
there
this.
You go.
There
you go. Like, and so, and like, sort of like, at what level of accountability are you at fault? That when is it that the blood is not on your hands?
So are you
my
gonna bring any of like the legal aspect in?
Yeah.
Like the okay.
Well,
because legally, there's a clear-cut answer to that question in that situation.
What's legally?
The legally is as soon as you press that button, knowing that the end effect of the machine is this guy is dead, you are legally culpable.
What if you didn't know? What if you didn't know when you hit it, but you found out afterwards? Are you guilty?
Then why did you push the button? Is the question.
Because it was my job as an operator of this machine. I was told it made nunchucks.
Then no. If you were under the impression that the machine would not harm anyone, then you were not.
But what if you found out afterwards? Are you guilty after the fact?
No.
Oh.
The most you could get is like a low charge manslaughter because they would then show that you acted recklessly or with neglect. But if you can honestly show that you acted in good faith and that there was no neglect or unwillful intent, then you're fine.
Right. So you have the legal aspect of that, like, yeah, cut and dry, that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you have the survivor's guilt. You have the, I know I wasn't legally responsible for it, but I did do something that caused life to end. So you have all these other feelings coming into the mix. Like, just because he's legally absolved for it, is he mentally absolved of it?
Well, that's a really interesting dichotomy because you have the killer who is legally responsible saying, I didn't do it. I'm not responsible for it.
Right,
and then you have the guy who manufactured it who isn't legally responsible feeling morally responsible. It's a really interesting dichotomy.
Right, and that's the aspect I want to sort of put behind it, is like how just change of perspective changes what is felt in the moment.
Is that why he decides to kill? Because he's like, oh, I feel morally responsible, so I'm just going to go use it for lesser evil by killing bad guys?
We could say that.
Well, also, like, morality has, like, a wear-down thing on your morality. Like, the more times that you act immorally and the more that you come to terms to allow yourself to survive, the more likely you are to act immoral in the future. So, like, this sounds like it's going to be like a moral descent for this character. Like, that's the horror, is here's this relatively good guy who is now following down this trail of moral descent while he struggles with the issue.
Look at Cody coming up with a horror think piece.
Yeah. And,
but you know how I feel about think pieces.
You love them.
It makes his head hurt.
I know I hate think pieces, but...
Fuck! I chose the wrong episode.
But, no. This reminds me more of like... and I mean this in a good way.
I had the idea when I was thinking about this, was thinking about the Saw movies. Like, he has all these fucking elaborate things. Like, he's a frail old man. Some of those things, he's not going to be able to do by himself. And I know he had assistants. Like, at the end of the day, some of that shit is fucking specialized. You're not just going to find that. You're going to have to get that. He is an engineer. Engineers are nothing without mechanics and machinists to make his dream come alive.
You ever heard about engineers?
Yeah.
An engineer would climb over 100 versions just a fucking operator in the ass.
This is why I like engineers.
But that's my point of it. Like, yeah, he's smart, deadly,
but you
whatever.
You see him milling out objects in the movies, though.
Yes, but he does. There's no way, time-wise, I feel like he would have enough time to do everything he does without getting any outside help.
He had superpowered cancer that
he has Becker's assistant, and he has Picket Fence assistant, and then he has Logan from Jigsaw.
Okay, so he has those four. Like, but what I'm trying to say, it is more than just four people that could do an elaborate things of some of those things I've seen.
Some of those things are really complicated.
Oh, and he had the doctor. He had the doctor too.
I mean, I get where Cody's coming from because he didn't have all of those assistants at the same time. Some of them came in and replaced each other.
No, they had.
So my idea is more of an outsourcing of
story
evil.
time.
Hold on. Before
no.
you get long in the tooth, I want the behind the scenes where in the first movie, there's the guy that's got he's got all those numbers written on the wall. I want a scene of Jigsaw just writing a number and being like, ah, fuck, hand cramp. And writing some more numbers on the wall.
Or it gets to the
Eugene
end
Levy's
where...
character
Yeah,
does that.
just like, oh, God.
Yeah, Eugene Levy is going over the map like, crap, I didn't divide right here. And it's him spending 5 minutes going over the math, talking to himself like, see, this is why it broke. I didn't account for the torque of the actual way the blade on the shaft. And that's what I had envisioned.
I almost want to get to the point, I want to play the comedy up in some places. Like Eugene Levy's doing that and proselytizing the all of the mistakes that he made and how this Rube Goldberg machine is supposed to murder the guy and then the guy's getting impatient. Can you fucking untie me if you're not going to kill me right now?
There's a scene where Looney Tunes is in the background and the killer's just
yes.
starts writing.
Well,
down
that is where Knoxville gets his ideas from Jackass. But it'd be cool if Levy played it like a twisted version of Professor Farnsworth. Good news.
Good news. The parts are on order. They'll be here next week.
I've got 2-day Prime shipping. They will be here tomorrow.
So you just have to go 2 days without food. That's it.
Okay, I like this idea.
Are you comfortable?
Now that it's
turn
less
the air down?
Now that it's less thinky PC, but I see it more as legacy TV, HBO, Westworld type stuff.
So you're wanting to turn my movie pitch into a TV series?
Yeah, because I think you explore once, because you want to do the moral decay of
Luke Wilson.
You'd want to do it over a couple episodes. You wouldn't want to do it over a 2-hour movie because
it'd be too sudden of a shift.
Right.
I don't know. I think if you really focused it on Luke, we've seen other movies in the past where they have strong moral shifts that don't feel out of place.
Right, but you've also seen the other side of that where they try to push it off, and you're like, I don't buy the fact that this guy or girl snaps so quickly.
Oh, there's definitely some of that, but Seven's a good example. You have a relatively good cop, and you see his moral decay through that movie, and when he murders Seven at the end,
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey's character. I thought his persona was called Seven.
No, it was John Doe.
John Doe. Well, he kills John Doe at the end.
The upper hand.
It kills.
That was pretty.
How come it's racist when I do it?
Back up. John Doe has the upper hand.
Because that was a relatively decent Morgan Freeman.
That actually was pretty.
And it wasn't generic black man.
We ain't found shit.
Found shit.
No, 100. I genuinely. I honestly.
If you like my idea, that's great. If it didn't win, fine. But I felt like I actually competed this time. That's all I cared.
I thought you were going to say, if I didn't win, fuck you.
No, that's fine.
And not like you said it earlier.
I think we all brought something pretty good to the table this time.
Yeah, unlike those other times when Cody should have won and everyone else's movies were shit.
Yeah,
Ouch.
Exactly.
Man, this is going to be tough. All right.
The McRib commercial movie
Oh,
should have won. That was such a masterpiece.
No. I should have won, and then he ruined it because he I don't like think pieces.
I don't.
No, I'll tell you the one of yours that should have probably won that didn't was the Bare Naked Lady one. That one was pretty
fucking
good.
Devil Went Down to Georgia should have won that one.
If you had only submitted one movie, you probably would have won.
Yeah, if you
would
would
have
have
submitted
changed
3 movies.
And
I was throwing stuff at the wall, see what stuck.
The worst part was we're the ones that finished his damn pitch for him.
I know, right?
He's like,
did it? I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You had like two sentences, then we all put it together.
You told the good part, and then you completely like drove it downhill, and then we're like, wait, let's back up to like right about here.
Yeah, when it was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, let's hear this bullshit.
Yeah, let's hear
Cindy, can we get some coffee?
Okay.
And some cocaine?
I like bottle episodes. Actually, both years of bottle episodes. I like bottle.
Can we get
episodes.
some bottles in here?
Well, I mean, isn't a bottle... Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. I like Etrigan style monster transformations.
Zach Galifianakis.
I do like Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, but
I like
you think he could be
Jigsaw.
straight?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, he's done it before.
When?
There's a movie where he plays the son. He plays the descendant of George Washington.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah,
It's not a comedy?
It is. It's got comedic accent for the most part. It's just a weird think-based movie.
It's he's in a movie called Visionaries. He's in a movie called Below.
There's the one where he's a mental patient.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen any of those. But the thing is, all I see is like... The most I've seen from him is his Two Ferns and a...
Between Two Ferns.
Yeah, that movie. Or that TV show, whatever it is.
There's Baskets as well. He plays kind of a serious...
Yeah, the one where he's the mental patient, that's the one where it's like the coming-of-age story of a kid who was trying to commit suicide, so he admits himself to a 24-hour watch. And Zach is a patient there. And he sort of helps him get in a help facility.
All right.
It's kind of a funny story. That's the name of the movie.
See, it's hard because I like...
Yeah, it is.
I like creature features, like Mimic, and I like monsters.
Aren't they the same thing?
No. Because creatures are more like of nature, and monsters are more of usually either alien or of religious.
Gotcha.
Supernatural.
Supernatural Wiki.
You got to make a decision, Adam.
I know.
You can't spend another 4 minutes agonizing over this.
I know, but I see both movies in my head.
He's completely just ditched yours, Cody.
Uh-huh.
I know.
Yeah.
That's just a big
Not that piece of shit, but the other two, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's a hard call.
Yeah, because I didn't use Zach Galifianakis because I thought it was too common of a pick.
Wow.
Oh, he
Hey.
kind of
Says the guy who had Eugene Levy and Christopher
Eugene
Walken.
Levy has not been in a horror movie in a while.
Said the guy that did an incredibly racist Craig Robinson impersonation. Or just generic black person.
Okay, so the only reason why I'm going to give this to Daniel
Shit.
is because Tyler is because
Hey, are you able to talk with that much cum in your mouth right now?
is let me swallow real quick. Is because you reference Cabin in the Woods, and I fucking hate that movie.
Oh, that movie's brilliant.
Is that your own
Okay,
one
so
Cody
Cody won.
So what?
So Cody won. Since he said Cabin in the Woods, he liked that movie.
That's not fair.
Okay, all right. Daniel, you
Bullshit.
All right.
Because I made a reference to Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
I like both of them. I had to come up with some stupid reason.
I'm really glad to hear that Playground Theory will be coming to theaters near you.
Is it coming to theaters or going straight to streaming?
Oh, no, we're going to theaters.
Oh, okay.
Tubi.
I mean,
Crackle.
probably a Tubi one, yeah. I just want to thank Tyler and Cody for putting together shit movies for me to win today.
Fuck off. This is one of the best ones I ever done.
It was brilliant, man. It was really good.
Daniel
This
Newkirk
is
has the upper hand.
this is up there in one of my favorites.
Daniel
we've
Newkirk
done.
has the upper hand.
I wrote a Google document about this one. I actually looked up actors beforehand, so I wouldn't just be like, what's his face?
Yeah. No, I think you did a really good job. Those were fantastic pitches. I'm frankly very surprised to hear that I won. But thank you very much. So for me, it'll be the honor of being the studio head for the next episode. So our prompt is going to be resolving a long, conflicted problem from behind the scenes of Damage Control podcasting. So some of you longtime listeners may know from some of our episodes that I hate the movie Rudy, and I had the experience to meet the man. So
you met the Rude?
I met the real
You
Rudy.
met Sean Astin?
No, the real life Rudy.
Oh.
I met him in high school. So we are going to make our best inspirational film for our next podcast. You're going to do the best that you can to inspire hope and
You hate
goodness.
inspirational movies.
No, I hate Rudy.
You hate a lot of inspirational movies.
Yeah, you're gonna have to make a good one that I don't hate.
I don't know how you hate Rudy and
All right,
Forrest
mine's called Trudy.
What was the other one?
Gump. Forrest Gump?
I don't hate Forrest Gump. I just don't think it's as good as everyone claims it to be, and I certainly don't find it inspirational. You know.
Well, yeah, Forrest could do it, then so can you.
Right. So you guys are going to make an inspirational movie. Now, that does not necessarily mean it has to be a religious movie, because...
Was Rudy a religious movie?
No, but a lot of people, when you hear inspirational, it immediately ties to religion.
Okay.
You know? So, like...
Adam's definitely going the religious route.
I am now.
Yeah. So, yes, you'll be making inspirational movies, and Rudy will be your benchmark.
Mine is called
it has
Trudy. It's about a one-legged stripper that wanted to be a rockette.
All right, Adam wins.
Mine is a religious think piece about a man named Jesus and his 12 friends.
That's got a real great twist in the middle, I hear.
Yeah.
My movie is going to be Rudy 2, the ass kicking.
Should have gone Rudy 2 Rudner.
Where he goes back to Notre Dame to actually play more than a single
Rudy
touchdown.
Tooty Fruity.
Fresh and fruity.
Fresh and fruity tooty in the booty.
All right.
The porn spinoff.
Okay, you've been listening to previously on...
No, they stopped. They stopped by now.
Probably. Damage Control Podcasting Production. Check us out on social media at Instagram, X, and on Facebook at Damage Control Podcasting. Also, check out new episodes of Damage Control Podcasting some Mondays on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Adam, push the button.
There you go.